NNRG.
You know, there's actually a lot of games on the Commodore 64 which happen to begin with the word murder. But the one in particular we're looking at today is Murder on the Mississippi, which is in reference to a boat, not the river. Or maybe the boat is a reference to the river? I don't know. Anyway, let's start it up here. So, okay, we're going straight to a black screen. That's interesting. Now to a gray screen. And now there's disk access. I will let you know when something actually happens. Okay, well, we got a title screen here, Murder on the Mississippi, The Adventures of Sir Charles Foxworth, created by Adam Bellin. So, yeah, not hearing anything. And also, we didn't have, like, a cracking intro or something. Like, yeah, it's just going straight to the title screen. Hopefully the game works properly, because, like, I mean, most games released on the Commodore 64 did have some kind of protection in place, but, you know, now that I think about it, I'm willing to bet there are some that don't have any protection in place, and, well, this says it's Activision. It had to have had something. Maybe? Or maybe Activision didn't do... I can't imagine they wouldn't have done something, but I don't know enough about Commodore 64 history to know who was really into it, who wasn't, and all that stuff. Okay, and we've got a little screen here that says start from the beginning, pick up last place saved or save game where it is now, and we control a hand cursor that we can move anywhere. And if we try to move off the top there, it just puts us back into here. Okay, so I guess we're just going right into it. Start from the beginning. And got some more loading going on. Okay, finally hearing something here. So, aboard the sternwheeler SS Delta Princess, New Orleans bound, 12 hours out of St. Louis, Sir Charles Foxworth, well-known sleuth, along with his manservant Regis, I think it's Regis, travels, first class naturally, on a simple voyage of discovery down the vast waters of the Mississippi River. Okay, so it is in reference to the river and not a boat. I thought it was in reference to a boat. Because, like, I mean, didn't they name some of these ships after, like, these different waters or something? I don't know. My history is probably all jumbled up. Like, history was not my forte. There's a reason why I tend not to go into it. Anyways, it is a balmy June day, a warm breeze snaps the flags on the superstructures, the engine thumps reassuringly. All is well with the snug, though isolated world of the riverboat. Who would suspect anything so terrible as murder on such a lovely day? Well, unless you're talking about the birds, but... Little could Sir Charles suspect, arriving at his cabin, that all too soon his talents for keen observation, clear-sighted reasoning, and uncanny deduction would be pressed to their limits by the terrible events aboard the riverboat this fateful day. Oh, and now we're going into our cabin, I think? I say, Regis, what day is this anyway? Well, your lordship, I believe it must be Wednesday. Wednesday? Did I say Wednesday? I meant Wednesday. That means then that our next stop must be some place called Memphis, is that right? Yes, your lordship, I believe that must be correct. Well then, Regis, we have 3 days until New Orleans. Astounding, your lordship, a truly brilliant deduction. Really, Regis, it was nothing. Yes, your lordship. So, let's take a stroll on the deck and meet the other passengers, shall we? Yes, your lordship, let's. Okay, this is going to be interesting. It looks like... Oh, I guess we're walking around now. So we can walk around the cabin. Oh, we can run into things. So we got a table with a picture on it. We've got a bunk bed. We got a suitcase. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing with the controls here, which isn't immediately obvious, but will be once I point it out, I am pushing right. Going right. I am pushing left. Going left. I am pushing up. I'm pushing down. up and down do not go straight up and straight down. They go diagonally up or down in whatever direction you're facing. So you have 6 directional movement in this game. Can't say I've ever encountered that before. Okay, so if I run into something and push the button, I can either walk around, inspect, or examine evidence. So if I go inspect, don't know what we're looking for. Okay, so I guess that doesn't do anything. Examine evidence, haven't found anything. And then walk around just makes us walk around again. Okay, so I guess there's nothing to do in here. Oh, now this is interesting. Outside of the cabin, you walk automatically when you push left or right. So you just have to tap the button and you keep walking. So like, I'm going to guess that the goal isn't to go into another cabin. So maybe we should try going upstairs. So button yes, stick no. So we hit the button. So we're gonna go upstairs. Then see if there's anything of interest up here. There might not be. Oh no, wait, we got the... Oh, we can't go into whatever this is, I don't think. Unless that's a door right over here. Oh, it's not? I'll knock on the door to the wheelhouse, my lord. Thank you, Regis. Good day, it is certainly a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Sir Charles Foxworth, and this is my man Regis. I'm Willard Overbite. Over? I don't think I've ever heard that nickname before. Willard Overbite, captain of the Delta Princess. Okay, so we can walk around, inspect, talk to the captain. So we'll talk to the captain. So we can either tell me about, what do you know about this evidence? Please follow me, share notes, cues. Yeah, we're going to do that. We don't even know there's a murder yet, technically. Anyways, tell me about, I hardly know you. Oh. I guess there's nothing we can do here yet either. Because, like, I mean, we still, if this is supposed to be a murder mystery thing, but our character doesn't know there's a murder yet. So presenting evidence makes no sense, asking him to follow us makes no sense, we don't have any notes to share, and we're certainly not going to accuse him of anything. So, yeah, it seems talking to him is a little useless at this moment. And same with inspecting, so I guess we're just going to move on. Okay, it's kind of interesting how it sort of splits the screen when you go down. And now that we're down here, it's like scrolls up and then moves. That's kind of interesting how it's doing that, because it's always showing you just one floor. But when you change floors, it shows you 2 floors. And then eventually you go back to just seeing 1 floor. So yeah, it's going to happen again here. We're going to go down the stairs. And then it's going to be a pause. And then it's going to continue loading. Game? Oh, it actually waits for you to press a button before it starts doing it. Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, I got some more rooms here. The thing is, I don't want to start barging into random rooms, because that seems like a stupid thing to do. But maybe that's what we're supposed to do. I'm going to keep exploring this ship until I've exhausted the other possibilities. And I should note that if you go into the background while on the ship area, like not inside a cabin, you'll actually switch between the port and starboard sides. Okay, so if I try to actually go into a door, it's going to say it's locked. I think this was the cabin we started from. Yeah, this is the cabin we started from. So let's just start trying doors until we actually get some kind of... Oh wait, this door's open. Okay. Good day, it is certainly a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Sir Charles Foxworth, and this is my man Regis. Judge Carter is my name, judging is my game. Okay, and I think if we go to tell me about here, it's probably going to say the same thing. I hardly know, yeah. Okay, so at the moment, it seems like maybe we're just supposed to meet people. Like, go around to different cabins and just meet everyone. Cabin number 4 here, we've got, okay. Regis, look at that. Yes, my lord, someone is sleeping. Yes, he's sleeping on the floor, Regis. What a curious thing to do. Quite, my lord. Perhaps he isn't just sleeping. What are you suggesting, Regis? A mishap? Well, there is that pool of blood, my lord. Yes, there is that pool of blood, Regis. Perhaps he's dead. Perhaps he was murdered, my lord. Perhaps. Nevertheless, something is quite wrong here. We must find out who did this, who this is, Regis. Lord, be careful not to step on the dead body. Okay, so we finally found the murdered guy. I guess inspect? There's nothing behind the picture of the sailboat. Oh, because we're... So we got a table with a picture, inspect. Nothing behind the table with a picture. So be very careful not to walk on him. And let's inspect the bed. Nothing behind the bed. There's not much else in here, is there? We could inspect the body. So let's do that. Oh no, it just says be careful not to step on it. Okay, so... Well, that's not good. I guess we're just going into it now. So... I guess maybe we should go talk to the captain. Just to let him know that, like, you know, you got a dead person on your ship. Maybe you should do something about that. Is he actually going to converse with me? Okay, ask about the victim. What victim? Has there been a murder? Yeah, sort of. Oh, and I can start asking him about people. So I can ask him about himself, Reverend Goodwin, Judge Carter, Daisy Dupree, and it looks like there's probably going to be 4 other characters. So tell him about yourself. Running a riverboat like this one is no easy matter, young man. I sleep in the wheelhouse, sometimes I even eat in the wheelhouse. It takes a hard worker like myself to run a ship like this. Would you like the notebook, my lord? Okay, so apparently we can jot down certain things if we find them important. Running a riverboat like this one's no easy matter. Sleep in the wheelhouse, sometimes even eat in the wheelhouse. Takes a hard worker to run a... No, we don't need to record that. Or actually, maybe I should show him the actual murder going on here. So if I say, please follow me... Okay, so now that the captain's actually going to follow me. So let's go back down to... Let's go back down the stairs here. This should bring me back to this floor. I think it was cabin 4 on this top floor here. I think. Well, hopefully I'm right. Otherwise, we're just going to end up barging in on someone else. Okay, so there we go. Captain Overbite, what can you tell me about the victim? Oh, Lord, that's Rayleigh Cartwright III. What could have happened to him? Seems our work never stops, Regis. Well, now that we know who it is, my lord, perhaps we should find out who did it. How long do you think we have? I'm afraid if we don't figure out who murdered Mr. Cartwright by the time we reach New Orleans, they may get away scot-free. Well, good luck, Mr. Foxworth. We're sure going to need your help. Okay, so... we know who the person is now, which means we could probably ask characters about them. Oh, and because Captain Overbite's walking around with us, we can actually talk to him right now. So we can go, tell me about the victim. This is a first on my ship. Rayleigh was a partner in the Freedom Waters steamship line. It's terrible what happened to him. Still, he was an arrogant man and a bit impetuous. Quite shocking. Okay, so if we go Freedom Waters steamship, and then we can, I'm guessing we can remove notes. Okay, so basically we're allowed to pick and choose words to add to our notes. Interesting. Well, I find this interesting too. There's a share notes option. So my guess is that if we learn certain things and write them in our notes, and then we share those notes with people, it'll actually potentially unlock more dialogue options? Well, let's see if we can find out some more stuff here. So, Reverend Goodwin. Or Godwin? I don't trust that man. He's always quoting the Bible. My pappy always told me never trust a man who quotes the Bible. Okay. That's a new one. I don't think we need to record that down. So tell me about Daisy Dupree. Daisy Dupree? On her way to visit her aunt in New Orleans, I think. Okay, I don't need to do anything about that. So stick to say no. And also tell me about the judge. Famous judge, Judge Carter. Old Death Head, they used to call him. Out in Nevada. That's what I hear. Death Head. Okay. Oh wait, I accidentally hit the inspect thing, and there says here there's something dangling, my lord, but I can't seem to reach it. I have no idea what that would be in reference to. Well, I don't think I can do much more with Overbite at the moment, so I'm just going to tell him to go back to what he was doing. So he's going to walk off screen, and that's that. Well, I mean, so far this game is actually playing kind of like how I would expect, except it's a lot more streamlined than I was expecting. So that door's not going to budge, that door's not going to budge. What about this door? This door does budge. This door leads to nothing. Interesting. So if we inspect this, nothing behind the dining furniture. What about that painting? Oh, but we can't get to the painting. Okay, so what victim? Has there been a murder? Yes, Miss Smallworth. I'm afraid Rayleigh Cartwright III has been slain. Such a terrible misfortune. Rayleigh Cartwright was certainly a handsome gentleman, but I really didn't know him, you see. Smallworth doesn't seem to know a lot about anyone here. Oh, hello. The judge. You know, I think he drinks too much. His breath at dinner last night was atrocious. I am definitely going to record that. Judge drinks too much. I'm starting to wonder if this is actually based on a property of some sort, because I don't know what that property is, but this really does feel like it is based on something, so, Okay, door number 15 is open, and we have just met Lionel Humphreys. Perhaps you'd care to make a small contribution to one of my charities. Okay. Mr. Humphreys, tell me about the victim. What victim? Has there been a murder? Yes, Mr. Humphreys. I am afraid Rayleigh Cartwright III has been slain. Well, that's certainly too bad. You know, I don't believe Mr. Cartwright has ever contributed to the Widows and Orphans Rescue Mission of the Outer Antilles. I keep the books, so I would know. So I really don't know the man. Southerner, wasn't he? Did you like the notebook? Maybe? That was a lot of words. The preacher is certainly one of the finest men I have ever had the privilege of knowing. Learned, sincere, wise, honest, and very, very holy. I cannot praise him enough. What has he done for those poor widows and orphans? It's quite astounding. Or what he has done for those... Trying to come up with a whole bunch of different voices for characters at the same time as reading their dialogue for the first time ever, you kind of end up skipping words, because you kind of get into your own mentality of how the phrases are going. Actually, I'm starting to get some bad vibes on this judge here, so maybe we should ask him about the judge. Deathhead Carter is one of the most evil, despicable, depraved monsters American jurisprudence? Is that a word? American jurisprudence has ever had to contend with. He is abrupt, arbitrary, and cruel. There's some hidden connection between him and that young Cartwright fella, mark my words. They mean no good for anyone, I tell you. There might be something worth putting down here. Death Head Carter is evil. Is there anything else? It's evil and cruel. Right like that. So that's also a lot of words. But this is an interesting one. Heard a splash in the morning. Something fall... Oh. Okay, so your notes are limited to a single line. Okay, so heard a splash in the morning. That could be incredibly useful. So let's actually go ask the captain about that. Now, the game hasn't presented anything in the form of a clock, so I'm guessing there's no time limit, but it's also a Commodore 64 game, so I'm like half expecting it to like say, oh, you're out of time at some point, but then I don't know, because the game isn't showing anything resembling a clock, and yeah, so far it's like, it doesn't seem to be time limited in any manner. That's interesting. So the captain here is now telling us that there's a passenger manifest on the wall there, so we can actually see where everyone is supposed to be. So let's actually talk to the captain now. So talk to captain, share notes about this person. Oh wait, this is what you said. Okay, right. Oh no, wait, that's weird. Oh wait, there's a bit of a delay as it loads things. And if you push down below the bottom, it cancels out. Okay, I see what's going on here. So what I want to do is go down to Madame Desplein and heard a splash in the morning. And just, yeah, said about herself. Don't know exactly what you mean. Okay, so that's not gonna help. Mr. Humphreys is a great philanthropist, a humanitarian. No one could say anything against the man. No one. He does a great deal of shooting, though. Great deal. Every morning, out there in front of his cabin, shooting at birds, he is. Sportsman, huh? Interesting. So that means he's definitely got a gun. So, how do we take notes on this one? So now that we know that it's actually sorting things by who said what about who, we don't have to necessarily put the names of people in our notes here. So I would say every morning shooting birds. Okay, one thing I will say about the controls that I don't like is that it's kind of finicky getting on the stairs. Now, you don't have to be precise about it, but it's difficult to tell when you've actually done it correctly because there's a delay before it actually engages. So that I don't like, but I do like that you don't have to be super precise. Let's inspect the bed. Nothing with the bed. Let's inspect the garbage. Ah, look at this. What is it, my lord? It appears to be an oily ball of cotton, Regis. Shall we keep the oily bale of cotton, my lord? Yes, indeed. Oh, it's suddenly doing a whole lot of loading. Interesting. Tell me about the victim. I don't believe it. I guess I should tell you the sounds I heard from his cabin this morning. It was noisy, but he was a caresseur. What is that word? I have never actually seen that word in my entire life. I don't even know what it means. Okay, I looked it up. It's carouser, and it means a person who drinks a lot. So that's a couple people now on this steamship who have drinking problems. Anyways, a noisy person altogether. I might as well tell you, since you'll find out anyhow, that he was my father. There was no love lost between us, but I didn't kill him. I'd rather be left alone right now, if you don't mind. Okay, that's interesting. Well, let's see if he has any opinion about the thing Mr. Humphrey said about Death Ed Carter. So, what he said about that, doesn't know what it means. No. Or actually, I found that oily rag, right? So what do you know about this evidence? Oily ball of cotton. I use cotton to clean machinery. Okay, so that's probably not relevant then. Okay, that's a weird phrasing there. So I'm asking Henry if we could borrow that gaff over on the wall. And Henry says, no, go right ahead. So is it no or yes? Like, I mean, the thing is, no, go right ahead was his response to when we asked if we could look around, if he had any, if he minded if we looked around. So obviously, no, doesn't mind. But now we're asking to pick something up, and he's saying, no, go ahead and pick it up. That doesn't quite work. Okay, so even though we didn't make much progress on this murder mystery, I've been playing this for nearly an hour now, so this clearly has some meat to it. And the other thing too is that it might indeed have some randomness to it. Like, I can't imagine that they would put a game like this together and the answer be the same every time. Like, that's part of the thrill of any murder mystery game, is that you don't know who it is. You have to piece together the clues and figure it out. So it makes sense that it's... Whoops, I accidentally went into cabin 18. That's just a dining room. So it makes sense that that it might be random each time, but I don't know. But then at the same time, the game does seem to be playing pretty well, and despite the fact there were some really long loading segments to start off with, the game has done very little in the way of loading since. So that means the game has just sort of been rocketing forward, as it were. So yeah, Murder on the Mississippi. If you like murder mysteries, this will probably do it for you. Controls fine, seems to have... It has old-timey dialogue, so that takes a little getting used to, but yeah, don't have anything bad to say about this, really.